Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my dear students. It's a pleasure to see so many aspiring chartered accountants here today. And your presence show that you are dedicated towards this challenging but rewarding journey, right? We all are today in the session, which is purely for your success at CA examination, organized by BoS for you. And mentor for the session today, I am CA Karuna Bhansali.
I am CA Tanya Gupta.
So we will be sharing insights and strategies to help you in succeed in the CA examination, particularly in the auditing subject. So this session is specifically designed to help you navigate the complexity of the auditing paper, understanding key concepts and develop the right strategy to excel. So what is the name of the subject? Auditing and ethics, right? So when we focus on the subject's name, auditing and ethics, it's combination of two words, auditing and ethics, right? So before starting, just wanted to ask Tanya madam, uh, before joining the CA journey, क्या आपने कभी ऑडिट के बारे में सुना था या कभी आपने ऑडिट किया था?
मैम ऑडिट के बारे में सुना तो नहीं था, ऑडिट की डेफिनेशन भी नहीं पता था, ऑडिट कैसे करते ये भी नहीं पता था। बट हाँ, ऑडिट के बारे में जानने के बाद पता चला कि ऑडिट मैंने करा था। As a child, when I was a child, my mother used to give me money, and when I go to market, I buy something, and then I check with the list that whether I bought the same thing what my mother gave me, whether I received the money back whichever salary has given me. मुझे जितने रुपए दिए गए थे, मैंने क्या क्या खरीदा, कितना खरीदा, मैं उसे पूरा चेक करती थी लिस्ट से। तो अब मुझे समझ में आया यही तो ऑडिट है जो हम डे टू डे लाइफ में करते थे।
तो आई थिंक हमारे सारे स्टूडेंट्स ऑल माइट हैव डन ऑडिट सिंस चाइल्डहुड, बचपन से लेके अब तक. कैन यू गिव सम मोर एग्जांपल लाइक नॉट ओनली दिस पॉकेट मनी वाला, कैन यू गिव सम मोर एग्जांपल वेयर वी कैन लिंक इट विद द ऑडिटिंग सब्जेक्ट इवन we are not doing chartered accountancy course or we are not chartered accountant?
मैम जैसे हम कभी भी फूड कोर्ट में जाते हैं तो हम कुछ ऑर्डर करते हैं, कुछ फूड लेते हैं, फूड बाय करते हैं, कुछ खाते हैं। तो हमने क्या ऑर्डर दिया, कितना हमें ऑर्डर मिला, कितना हमें मनी दिया, कितना हमें मिला। तो ये भी एक ऑडिटिंग ही है जो हम चेक करते हैं, अपनी चेकलिस्ट बनाते हैं, वो चेक करते हैं। एंड मतलब डे टू डे लाइफ में हम ऑडिटिंग अपना मतलब यूज करते ही हैं। ऑल्दो वी डोंट नो व्हाट इज ऑडिटिंग, कोई ऑडिट सब्जेक्ट को नहीं जानता है, लेकिन वो ऑडिट तो हर कोई अपनी लाइफ में करता है। इवन स्मॉल चिल्ड्रन ऑल्सो, व्हेन दे आस्क फॉर कैंडीज, we give them 10, they say no, I want 12. They count that whether I get the 12 or not.
They check.
They
So
check.
basically checking is
Audit.
audit. Then कभी ऐसा हुआ तान्या कि आपकी मम्मा ने आपको पॉकेट मनी दिया और कुछ पैसे दिए मार्केट से सामान लाने के लिए, and you went to the market, or apart from the list which is given to you, these 10 items you need to brought, and for that money has been given to you, have you brought something else like chocolate or some other thing which you feel it should be with me, or have you ever tried to keep some money with you कि कुछ पैसे हम अपने पास छुपा के रख ले और मम्मा को कुछ गलत बता दे, क्या ऐसा कभी? तो वो जो चीज है वो है हमारा इथिक्स, राइट? सो हमने ऑडिट में इथिक्स लाइक हमें इथिकली वो चीज करना था या नहीं करना था. व्हेन वी वेंट टू होटल, राइट, जब हम होटल गए हमने ऑर्डर किया, मेन्यू को देख के हमने ऑर्डर किया, एंड व्हेन वी रिसीव द बिल वी जस्ट यूज्ड टू चेक whether all the items which we have ordered are there. If some item is left out, then ethically what we should do, we should tell the restaurant waiter or manager that this item is not part of it. And if it is more than that, then what we will do, we'll inform and we'll get it revised, right? So that is basically audit. So I hope all agree with this, or are you all able to understand what is auditing and what is ethics? May I get your answer either in form of chat or in form of message, so I can understand, yes, what we are trying to tell you, you are able to get it. Yeah. Thank you, Meet, for answering, Ankita. So it means it's clear what is auditing and what is ethics. Okay. So let's move towards our syllabus. So basically, this subject is very important. right?
Right.
है ना?
Yes.
But what is the complaint of the children, students, that they are not getting
Good marks in
marks?
auditing.
Yeah, they have gone for paper, they have written everything, but when they check their marks, they are not able to correlate why the marks are
Less.
not as per their performance, why the marks are less, right? So first you need to understand your syllabus. I think अब तो सितंबर में पेपर है, अगस्त का महीना है, so we are already having less time duration. So I hope all are well equipped with the skill wise, section wise weightage and how many chapters are there which are very important, and particularly taking care the weightage of the chapter. We have designed one webinar series also, wherein we are having 4 sessions. One is already being completed on 7th August on the audit of item of financial statement, and we are having next 3 webinars also lined up. So Tanya madam, can you brief about that, which all webinars are there? Yes, and which of the topics we are going to cover?
Ma'am, yes. Next webinar is on 12th of August. Timing will be 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. and the topic will be audit reporting, including CARO 2020. And after that, we have session on 21st of August. Timing will be 4 to 6 p.m. and the topic will be audit evidence and audit documentation. And our last session is on 28th of August. Timings will be 4 to 6 p.m. And the topic we will cover there will be audit of different types of entities and bank audit
and ethics wala
and
part,
ethics, right?
So in total, we are going to cover 60% to 90% weightage in that session, right? So for those specific topic, I'll suggest all the participants to join that webinar, because there you will be finding important concept and the strategy to write in the examination for that particular topic, though we will be covering today also. So I think all are well equipped, but just for a glance or for a quick revision, if you can tell them how many chapters are there and how many in how many sections it is being divided and what is the weightage actually, so that they can understand.
Okay. So paper number 5, auditing and ethics, is divided into 9 sections covering 11 chapters. So chapter number 1 is having weightage of 4 to 6%. Then section number 2, covering 8 to 12% marks. Then section number 3 covering 8 to 12% again. That 8 to 12% means 9 to 14 marks. Minimum marks is of 9 marks and maximum is 4 marks. Same way, chapter number 4, which is audit evidence. It is the most important chapter and it also covers 14 to 21 marks, minimum 14 marks, maximum 41 marks.
And one more chapter is part of this section, right?
Yes. That is chapter number 6, audit documentation.
Right. Yeah.
Then we have chapter number 5, which is covering maximum weightage.
Yeah.
14 to 24% audit of items of financial statements.
So this we have already covered in webinar, right?
Right. After that, we have section number 7, 8 to 12% marks, which means 9 to 14 marks, and it is completion and review. And after that, we have chapter number 7, section 7. Actually, chapter number is 8, audit reporting. It also having marks of 9 to 14, minimum 9 marks, maximum 14 marks. After that, we have section number 8, which has 2 chapters, special features of audit of different types of entities and audit of banks. And the minimum marks which this chapter carries is 14 marks and maximum is 21 marks. And at last, we have section 9, chapter number 11, ethics and terms of audit engagement, and the minimum marks weightage of this chapter is 9 marks and maximum is 12 marks. बेसिकली मैम अगर स्टूडेंट वेटेज को देख के अपनी प्रिपरेशन करते हैं तो उनको ये समझ में आएगा कि ऑडिट इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट एंड इसमें सारे ही चैप्टर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, मतलब दे कैन नॉट डू सेलेक्टिव स्टडी इन दिस सब्जेक्ट.
ओके, सो तभी तो हमारे पास एक लास्ट टाइम जब एक स्टूडेंट आए थे and he was not getting good marks, तो जब हमने गाइड किया था and he not only got good marks, he got maximum marks in the auditing subject. Right. So we told them the strategies, that yes, you should remember the name of the standard, you should write about the standard, right? Right. And how to write in the examination. Sometimes what happens, they are aware of all the concept, but while reading the question, they missed some of the part, and that is the reason they have attempted only half of the part. So they get lesser marks, right? Because out of 4, if you are attending 2 marks paper or 3 marks paper, then definitely you will be losing the marks. तो तान्या, आज हम मेन्यू में क्या क्या लेके आए हैं बच्चों के लिए? आज हमारे पास क्या क्या चीजें हैं, और हम बच्चों से ही पूछते हैं कि वो क्या करना चाहते हैं सबसे पहले।
मैम, आज हम स्टैंडर्ड्स डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, हम सजेस्टेड आंसर्स डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि अभी मई में एग्जाम हुआ है और काफी सारे मतलब ऑब्जर्वेशंस आए हैं कि बच्चों ने करेक्टली
किस तरह से परफॉर्म किया है, तो हम उनको
कौन से क्वेश्चन सही से अटेम्प्ट नहीं करे, तो हम वो भी हम बच्चों को बता सकते हैं। उसके बाद मुझे तो सबसे पहले ये जानना था कि मतलब SRA, SRS और SRE इन तीनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? मतलब बहुत ही मतलब मुझे कंफ्यूजन हमेशा से रही है कि व्हाट इज SRS, SRE एंड SIE।
ओके, तो लेकिन उससे पहले मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ तान्या, या बच्चों आप में से कोई भी, इफ एनीवन ऑफ यू वांट टू शेयर, यू कैन आल्सो टेल total number of standards. How many standards are there in total? If someone of you can tell me, how many standards are there? You can raise your hand. $100 to $899. No me.
Ma'am, 36.
36 क्या है? ऐसे?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, 35 essays है and ma'am 36 SQC1 है.
No,
36th number.
no, no, no. So आपके जो स्टैंडर्ड्स है, टोटल जो नंबर है आपका वो है 46. कितने हैं टोटल? कितने हैं?
46.
46. और 46 में पहला जो है आपका वो है SQC1.
एक्चुअली इंटर के अकॉर्डिंग शी वाज राइट कि उसके 35 स्टैंडर्ड है
टोटल, लेकिन टोटल स्टैंडर्ड जो है हमारे, अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो SQC1 जो है वो हमारा 1. देन आपके जो ऐसे हैं, ऐसे 200 से लेके ऐसे 800 तक हमारी सीरीज है. ऐसे 100 से लेके 199 इंट्रोडक्टरी मैटर्स है. राइट नाउ देयर इज नो स्टैंडर्ड फॉर दैट. Then we are having one series essay 200 to 299 general principles and responsibilities. 300 is specifically for risk assessment and response to assess risk. 500 is for it's relating to audit evidence, that is your chapter also. 600 is using the work of others. Others may be internal auditor or expert or principal auditor branch auditor relationship is also there. 700 is very, very crucial. That is very, very important. Audit report, audit conclusion and reporting. And next webinar is on that. And 800 is for specialized area. And for you, SA 800 series is specifically excluded. So in total, if we consider, we are having 38 standards. And then we have SAE. SAE what? Standards of assurance engagement. और वो कितने हैं? 3. SRE कितने हैं? 2. 2400 and 2410. और SRS कितने हैं? Again 2. So how many are there? 46. Clear है सबको? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
तो टोटल 46 है. और आपके सिलेबस में SQC1 एंड ऐसे ही है. ऐसे भी आपके लिमिटेड एंड सिलेक्टिव है. राइट आपको इसलिए लगा क्योंकि 700 तक ही हम इंटर लेवल पर ले जाते हैं, तो आपको लगा 800 सीरीज नहीं है. 800 इज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर स्पेशलाइज्ड एरियाज. राइट सो इन टोटल वी आर हैविंग 38 स्टैंडर्ड. नाउ मूविंग टुवर्ड्स योर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन तान्या, दैट इज व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन
SRS, SIE, SRE and standards.
ठीक है. And SQC1. Now SQC1 is specifically for what? आप लोगों का आंसर भी मुझे चाहिए. SQC is for SQC is for what?
Audit firms.
Quality
Applicable on
Quality control, ma'am.
right? It's for
Quality control.
अच्छा, आप में से किसी को इसका पूरा नाम याद है? अगर नहीं याद है तो आई विल हेल्प यू इन लर्निंग।
स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन क्वालिटी कंट्रोल।
स्टैंडर्ड ऑन क्वालिटी कंट्रोल तो आपने SQC1 की फुल फॉर्म बता दी, इट्स गिवन ओवर हियर, स्टैंडर्ड फॉर क्वालिटी कंट्रोल। नाउ व्हाट आई वांट टू आस्क इज SQC1 का नाम क्या है? आपके चैप्टर 11 में दिया हुआ है, राइट? चैप्टर 11 में SQC1 इज इन सिलेबस।
Yes,
So what
ma'am.
is the name of SQC1? Let me take you to SQC1 in our Saransh book. So here you can see SQC1 का नाम क्या है? Quality control for firms that perform audits and review of historical financial information and other assurance and related service engagement. ये नाम याद है किसी को? मैं बताऊं कैसे याद करना है शॉर्टकट?
यस मैम।
सो SQC1 जैसा कि नाम से ही पता है कि ये किसके लिए है? क्वालिटी कंट्रोल के लिए। और क्वालिटी कंट्रोल हम किसकी करेंगे? कंपनी की नहीं, फॉर फर्म्स। फर्म्स जो क्या करते हैं? ऑडिट करते हैं या रिव्यू करते हैं। अब यहीं पे आपको एक चीज क्लियर हो जाएगी कि जो एसए है और जो रिव्यू वर्क, रिव्यू यानी SRE, क्वेश्चन आता है ना आपके पेपर में, इनमें डिफरेंस के लिए। तो एसए और SRE किसके लिए एप्लीकेबल होते हैं? हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन। जो ऑडिट आप करते हो, आप ऑडिट करते हो हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन की। किसकी ऑडिट करते हैं? हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन। और रिव्यू भी करोगे तो किसको करोगे? जो पहले हो चुका है, यानी पास्ट, यानी कि हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन। सो ऑडिट एंड रिव्यू बोथ आर डन फॉर हिस्टोरिकल फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन। तो SQC1 का आधा पार्ट हमने किया। व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इन SQC1? वी आर गोइंग टू हैव क्वालिटी कंट्रोल। क्वालिटी कंट्रोल फॉर firms, firms which perform audit and review. And audit and review किसका होता है? Of historical financial information, right? अब उसका सेकंड पार्ट आ गया। टोटल हमारे कितने 46 स्टैंडर्ड थे और उसमें 2 पार्ट अभी बच गए हैं, SE और SRS, अदर एश्योरेंस एंड रिलेटेड सर्विस एंगेजमेंट। अदर एश्योरेंस मीन्स आपको और भी अगर कोई एश्योरेंस देना है, या रिलेटेड सर्विस एंगेजमेंट मीन्स SRS, कंपाइलेशन का वर्क हो गया, कोई डेटा कंपाइल करना है या आपको उससे रिलेटेड कोई स्पेसिफिक सर्विसेज आपको दिया हुआ है, तो वो आपको जो एंगेजमेंट करने हैं वो आपके फ्यूचर पर्सपेक्टिव के लिए, ठीक है? तो वो जो है सारी की सारी एक्टिविटीज आपकी किसमें कवर हो गई? SQC1 में। अब एक क्वेश्चन आपके माइंड में आता होगा कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन SQC1 एंड SA220, है ना? SQC1 भी क्वालिटी कंट्रोल से रिलेटेड डील करता है और SA220 भी क्वालिटी कंट्रोल पे डील करता है। आप में से कोई मुझे बता सकता है कि SQC1 और SA220 में क्या डिफरेंस है?
मैम SQC1,
हाँ,
मैम SQC1 इज मतलब SQC1 जो लगता है वो ऑडिट फर्म पे लगता है, और जो SA220 है वो एंगेजमेंट पे लगता है।
यस, पर्टिकुलर किसी ऑडिट, पर्टिकुलर किसी एंगेजमेंट पे जो लगता है वो SA220 लगता है, जबकि SQC1 आपका ओवरऑल फर्म पे लगता है। लाइक मैं और तान्या मैडम, हम दोनों चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है और हमने अपनी एक फर्म खोली और हम जो है वो ऑडिट करने जाते हैं या कोई भी एक्टिविटीज करते हैं, चाहे एश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट करें, चाहे रिलेटेड सर्विसेज वाला पार्ट हो या रिव्यू एंगेजमेंट हो। SQC1 एप्लीकेबल हमारी फर्म पे है, करुणा एंड तान्या एसोसिएट सपोज नेम इज देयर, तो उस फर्म पे SQC1 विल बी एप्लीकेबल। नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, अगर करुणा एंड तान्या एसोसिएट को स्टूडेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की ऑडिट का काम मिला है और वहां हमें एसए जो है उस पर्टिकुलर एंगेजमेंट के लिए अगर हमें चेक करना है तो वहां SA220 एप्लीकेबल होता है। क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू?
यस मैम।
Is it clear now to Mr. Reddy who is asking? Please confirm. I have told that SQC1 is applicable for particular firm, the firm which is going to perform audit, review, assurance or related service engagement, right? But SA220 is specifically applicable for particular audit or particular assignment. Okay, So for that particular assignment, how auditor will perform the procedures, that is specifically elaborated in essay 220, whereas SQC1 is applicable. So generally one question is being asked to the students that whether on related service engagement SQC1 will be applicable or not.
Applicable, ma'am.
Yes. So it will be applicable. Either it is review or it is audit or it is
Related services.
So SQC1 is applicable for each and every engagement and quality engagement, right? So all are covered in SQC1. That is the reason if you read the SQC1 carefully, you will find almost all the standards important points are covered over in SQC1. Even whether it is what I can say, ethical requirement like our basic fundamental principles, integrity, objectivity, professional competence, due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior. So I hope I am able to tell you how many standards are there. What is the difference between SQC1? SQC1 is particularly for quality control. It is applicable on firm that performs audit and review of historical financial information and other assurance and related service engagements. Means all the 46 standards are covered in SQC1's name. So you can, if you have learned this name, you will be able to analyze and understand the situation also. So I hope I'm able to help you in learning the name. Are you able to understand and correlate and learn the name? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat the name of SQC1? Can any one of you tell me the name of SQC1? So I got it in chat. So I'm repeating again, SQC means, as its name is indicating, it is for quality control for firms that perform audit and review. Audit and review, because both are for historical financial information and other assurance and related service engagement. Clear? Okay. Then let's move towards our next step.
Ma'am, I have one doubt also,
Mhm.
that how these standards are set. मतलब why, what is the need of these standards? Why they are made? मतलब जब मुझे पढ़ना होता तो मुझे लगता है ये ऑडिटिंग में स्टैंडर्ड्स ही क्यों हैं?
बिल्कुल.
इतना इतना
क्यों
सारा
पढ़ना?
कोर्स पढ़ना, इतना पढ़ना क्यों है इन्हें? क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है ये? तो can you please give us brief explanation, मतलब why these standards are set and how these are made? किसने सोचा, कैसे बनाया, क्या लिंकेज है इनकी?
So before I proceed, can any one of the student tell why these standards are being introduced and why it is very, very important? Can any one of you tell why standards are important? Why we need to study these standards?
Ma'am, so that uniformity will be maintained.
Right. So all the just like uniform, right?
Yes.
Just like uniform, we wear one same uniform in the school, so uniformity is maintained. All the procedures are uniformly applied. Any other? Can anyone also tell?
Meet is saying that to provide guidance.
To provide guidance, right? Then it's given in your chapter 1 also. It's very good question. Yes, right of auditor. So why are standards needed? Standards ensure carrying out audit against established benchmark and with global practice. Means आपने क्या किया, एक बेंचमार्क स्टैब्लिश किया और उसको फॉलो करना है. वहां आपको स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसीजर दे दिया. आपकी जो फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग की क्वालिटी है, हाँ, ग्लोबल लेवल को मैच करने के लिए, राइट मी. And Ankita is also right. Improve quality of financial reporting. So it improves quality of financial reporting, right? And to match with the global level, to make diligent decisions, and to provide uniformity. So you all are aware what is the importance, and in standard ensure audit quality, right? Who is writing? Yeah, Reddy is writing. He is writing the name of, right. Thank you, Reddy ji. So I think your doubt is clear that why standard, because देखो हमारे students ने हमें बता दिया to match global level, to improve the quality, to quality of financial reporting, Ankita is writing, then uniformity they have already told, to ensure audit quality. So I think everything they all are aware that why standards are very, very important, right? So now we are going to
how to remember.
Yeah, how to remember, why it is very, very important to write the name of standard, and before writing the name you need to remember that also. So SQC1 we have already discussed. Now if we talk about SA 200 series, that is general, right? So in first standard of SA 200 series is SA 200, that is overall objectives of the independent auditor and conduct of an audit in accordance with standards on auditing. So first thing, overall objective of the independent auditor. So it is basic standard, very, very first standard on auditing, that is SA 200. And what is the name? It's overall objective of the independent auditor. And how to conduct the audit in accordance with standards on auditing. So SA 200 provide all the guidance regarding the objective, why you are doing this audit, and how to conduct it in accordance with all the standards on auditing. So that is very, very important. Then all the general principles are covered, as I already told you, that in SA 200 series 2 to 299 we have general principles and responsibilities. So after understanding what is the objective of the auditing, what is the objective of independent auditor, and how to conduct, what is our first step? That is agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Now if Tanya want me to audit her company, who will issue engagement letter? Who will issue? What are the terms she will tell me? I will tell, okay, I can do it. So what are the
Auditor
Yeah,
will issue
engagement letter will be issued by auditor.
auditor.
So SA 210 is, now after understanding the objective, next standard is SA 210, that is agreeing the terms of audit engagement. So in that engagement letter, I will tell her, yes, I am agreeing the terms which you are telling, and in that letter, I will be telling what is the objective, what are the scope, what kind of work I will be doing, what will be the management's responsibility, what will be the auditor's responsibility. Means being an auditor, which are the activities I'll be taking care, and for which activities I am responsible. And I will tell her that for these activities you will be responsible. Then in that we need to tell about the fee, other terms and conditions, what additionally they need to, and code of ethics compliance, and each and everything we need to cover in that engagement letter. Now once I have given engagement letter, do I need to revise that? Do I need to revise that engagement letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in some
Depend upon the
specific situation.
circumstances.
One by one. First, who was telling? Kiran Bala.
And depend upon the circumstances. अगर कोई ऐसा reason होता है तो हम उसको change कर सकते हैं.
So what kind of
Reason
circumstances?
कुछ environment में change हुआ या कोई
Environment मतलब बारिश आ गई या धूप तेज हो गई या कुछ और?
नहीं मैम business environment.
ओके, बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट में अगर सपोज एक
और
आपका मेजर पार्ट है, वो नया एक और ओपनिंग हो गया या क्लोज हो गया, या आपके फ्रेमवर्क
कोई
में
लीगल
आया है,
कोई लीगल रेगुलेटरी चीज आ गई इसमें.
right. So in that case we need to change of top level manager. Yes, meet, right. So in that condition I will issue new engagement letter to her for her company, right? So that or if the terms and conditions are same, then again do I need to reissue? Because it's recurring audit, do I need to again and again every year I need to provide engagement letter?
No, ma'am.
And then
No,
it's
ma'am.
not required. So right, ready, according to situation we will issue. Okay, so this part is overall discussed in SA 210. The what are the terms on which we are in agreement, and if that terms are not being followed, then what are the options available to auditor or to the company, like what kind of remedies, whether certain conditions are not being complied with, then I can withdraw from the audit engagement also. So all those part is discussed in SA 210. So once we know the objective of the independent auditor and how to conduct the audit, we will issue engagement letter, and after issuing the engagement letter, agreeing the terms of audit engagement, next SA will be SA 220 that we have already discussed, that is quality control for an audit of financial statements. So how to control the quality, that will be forming part, means up in that standard specifically it is discussed about how to control the quality, right? And very crucial and very important standard is next one, that is SA 230, audit documentation. If audit is not documented, means audit is not done. अगर आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो और आपने अपने नोट्स नहीं बनाए, आप किस तरह से पढ़ रहे हो, you need to write your strategy in your notes. How much you have decided today I will be completing this part, how much revision I have to, how many questions I have done, everything, what kind of difficulties you face, in which chapter you are finding difficulty, and when you are writing a question of this answer, what kind of challenges you have faced, so what additional notes you need to refer, all those parts should be forming part of your audit documentation. Now it's a very important point which I want to tell you now, that while studying now itself, your documentation should be ready for your examination 1 day or 2 days gap, right? Because now you are studying, so you know that in this topic I'm finding difficulty, this question is very important. After reading also I'm not able to recall the provision for this specific question, so you need to note down all those questions or all those important tip points which you should revise before going to exam in your notepad or diary. So that diary is very important, and that is forming part of your audit documentation, that is your working paper. And while solving that particular question of any of the author's book or suggested answers, RTP, MTP, or a study material, it should be noted at one place that which page of which resource you need to refer for your revision. So that is your audit documentation. So your single minute is not wasted when you are doing revision before examination. And when you are studying, like I'm studying one whole page, I'm studying essay 210 or SQC1 or whatever standard or whatever topic. If I'm able to understand this point and after that explanation of that is being given, I can cut with the pencil and I can jot down the important points. That is, at the time of examination for revision, you should be aware that what I need to read, what I can skip, right? So that is your audit documentation. When you are going for audit, if you have not noted everything, means your documentation is not complete, and if it is not documented, it means it's not audited. So SA 230 is very important and crucial. In fact, पहले एक कहावत भी थी ना, हाँ
मैम, ये ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में ही एक क्वेश्चन था, वो पूछ रहा था कि अपने स्टडी मटेरियल का ही क्वेश्चन है कि व्हाट इज द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस इफ ऑडिट प्रोग्राम इज नॉट डॉक्यूमेंटेड.
What is the consequences if the audit program is not documented? पहले तो मुझे ये बताओ, अगर audit program को हम document करते हैं तो क्या क्या benefit है? क्या वो दिया हुआ है?
हमें क्या क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, वो हम प्लान
वो क्यों करना है, क्या वो दिया हुआ है कि why it is important?
मैम, ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन से एक ऑडिटर को एक एविडेंस रहता है उसके पास कि मैंने जो भी प्रोसीजर लगाए हैं वो पूरी प्लानिंग के साथ परफॉर्म किए हैं. या फिर मैम नेक्स्ट ईयर अगर कोई और अगर नेक्स्ट ऑडिटर बनता है जिसका प्रीवियस कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है तो वो भी एक तरह से रेफरेंस के लिए से यूज कर सकता है.
बिल्कुल राइट.
क्वेश्चन इज कि ऑडिट प्रोग्राम नहीं डॉक्यूमेंट करते तो उसके क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं?
आप मुझे बताओ, आप चीज के लिए जानते हैं. हाँ, हेलो.
Yes, please.
Who is talking? Abhilash? Yeah, please speak. Who is talking? So should I continue? Yeah. So when you are documenting your audit program, what kind of benefits you will get? When you go to market, you prepare your list of what I need to buy.
Yes.
You prepare your list. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
this will help you that you have bought all the items. After coming back to home, you will, when you will be checked, you need not to go to the market again. Same way, when you are going to for audit, you also know very audit program is very, very important. And for preparing that audit plan and program and strategy, how many things are to be taken care. So after studying those pointers, only you will be able to prepare your audit program. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you have prepared your audit program, what will be the covered in what will be covered in the audit program? Your steps will be covered in audit program. Important
Yes,
pointers
ma'am.
will be covered. So if any of the point is missed, or if like you have mentioned over there, what is your like key criteria which you have mentioned over there? If there is change in the same, then how you will pursue? So basically, importance of the document makes you is finally answer of your question that in the absence of that document what kind of problem you will face. So when you have this kind of question, you can provide the benefits that these are the benefits, and if that document is not available, if that part is not covered, not available, then these points will be, these benefits will be missed out. Got it?
Yes,
There's
ma'am.
no specific penalty
Yes,
or something on or as a consequences of this, but the benefit you are going to get, you will miss that.
Okay, you will be
this
going
is the
back to
benefit.
market again for that particular thing. Okay, so now
Yes,
in
Yeah.
when you have your own list with you, then of course there might be chances that after coming back you again remember something, but if the things are mentioned over in the list, you will definitely try to get all those items which are given in the list. It may
तो
happen
मैम
that a bit
पहले
other, yeah.
तो मैम फर्स्ट हम ऑडिट प्रोग्राम के बेनिफिट्स लिख देंगे, फिर उसी के हिसाब से लिख देंगे कि क्या
Yes,
इसको नहीं
yes,
करेंगे
yes.
तो क्या नहीं discuss
So looking at the importance and benefits,
करेंगे.
it is implied that these are the important points which will be missed out if we are not having this. Okay,
हाँ, ओके
so
मैम.
everyone is on same pace, and whether we are going in right direction, or if you want to discuss, or we can shift to suggested answer or some integrated case scenario which are given in mock test paper, or you want to discuss any specific topic, you can also provide your tips so that we can
हाँ मैम, केस सिनेरियो लेते हैं.
pardon.
Case scenarios.
केस सिनेरियोज लेते हैं मैम. केस सिनेरियो.
So I'll
Yes,
एमसीपी
ma'am.
के
Okay.
क्वेश्चन. वी विल टेक एमसीपी का क्वेश्चन.
MCQ or case scenario, and then we will be taking suggested answer also. The mistakes which are committed by the students while attempting May 24 examination, the kind of mistakes they have done, will be discussing. We will be discussing that also, right? Because that will help you to understand what, while appearing for September examination, those mistakes should not be repeated, right?
ओके मैम. ओके मैम.
So this way we are having our essay 200 series. 300 is purely relating to risk assessment, how you will identify the risk, how you will give response to that risk. Of course, in that materiality is also there. Materiality in planning and performing the audit, because materiality level is very, very important. Once you have decided what is the materiality level, then it's like after deciding, because for materiality also you need to consider lot many factors. So once you have decided that this is the materiality, means maybe 1 lakh, maybe 50,000, or maybe more than that. So after that you will be, because audit, it is not possible to do the audit 100%, right? So that materiality level will help you for which transactions you need to focus more and where you need to do emphasize more.
Yeah.
So that is given in essay 300 series. 402 is specifically when you use service organization, and for 500
500 is for audit evidence. When we do the audit, we collect evidences, and how to collect the evidences, how to document evidences, what are the procedures of sampling. Everything is mentioned in 500 series. And after 500 series, we have 600 series in which we use the work of other auditors. Other auditors means internal auditor, another auditor, or auditor's expert. So when we collect evidences, after that we have to use the work of other auditors, and it is mentioned in 600 series. And then we have 700 series, which is specifically about reporting. When we have documented everything, when we have collected evidences, when we have identified frauds in the organization, when we have used the work of other auditors, last thing is reporting. So essay 700 is specifically for reporting, and essay 800, which is not discussed at inter level, but is essay 800 is for specialized areas. So this way we have standards which are covered in inter level. And when you study standards specifically, like जैसे मैम ने बताया कि ऐसे 200 जो है वो जनरल प्रिंसिपल और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है, उसके बाद जब ऑडिटर जनरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझ जाता है तो कैसे उसको रिस्क असेस करना है, उसके बाद ऑडिट एविडेंस कलेक्ट करने हैं, किसी और ऑडिटर का वर्क को यूज करना है और ऑडिट रिपोर्टिंग करना है, तो इट दिस वे if you think in this way you are going to remember each and every standard easily. And most important, it is very important to write name and number of the standard wherever applicable and as much as you can write in your examination.
So we have covered 500, that is related to audit evidence, right? In audit evidence also, after audit evidence, we have discussed 600, where we are using the work of others, using the work of another auditor or internal auditor or auditor expert. And then we have 700 series, which is purely based for audit report. And our next webinar, that is on 12th August at 11:30, is on audit report part. And that is very, very important and crucial, because at final level also, it's very important. So Ankita want to understand the meaning of benchmarking. Ankita, you want to understand the meaning of benchmarking or how benchmarking is decided? Ankita? Meaning. Okay. So what is benchmarking basically? Will you tell?
Ma'am, benchmarking is a standard set by an auditor that agar is suppose I set a benchmark that 1 lakh is my benchmark. So all the items below benchmark are immaterial for me while performing an audit. I will perform audit or I will report all the matters which are above 1 lakh as a material items.
Yeah. So benchmark means we have decided that this is the benchmark, and after considering that benchmark, we will determine materiality for the financial statement as a whole. Okay. How to write answer in exam, how much is sufficient and what should be included. Okay. So I think we should move to suggested answer. 1 or 2 questions, so that we can tell them that how they need to answer, how to write the answer in the exam, and what are the important points. So I have brought some comments also. No? So our first question was basically, I hope you all are well equipped with the pattern of the paper. We will just give 1 or 2 about the paper pattern, how many marks paper is there, and
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, paper is divided into 2 divisions. Division A is entirely MCQ based questions, which are of 30 marks, and these are application based MCQs. We are not going to ask any, correct or incorrect MCQs or straightforward MCQs. MCQs will be application based MCQs, and division 2 is descriptive questions, which will be of 70 marks. In descriptive questions, question number 1 will be compulsory question, and out of 5 questions, student will be required to answer any 4 questions. And MCQ based questions will be having 3 case scenarios covering 12 questions. It can be of 5 questions in one case scenario, 4 questions in any case scenarios. So 12 questions will be basically case scenario based MCQs, and 3 will be independent application based MCQs.
Right? And for 70 marks, we are having total 6 questions.
Right. 1 question will be compulsory, and out of 5 questions, student will be able to.
1 will be compulsory question, and remaining 5, there will be internal choice. Question 2 to 6, any one you can one internal choice, one question out of 2 to 6 you can leave, and means you are having a choice, and there will be one more internal choice also.
Right.
Okay, so this way we are 70 marks paper is divided, and we are having total 88 marks for descriptive
question.
So you will be getting 14 marks choice. Okay, so this is our paper pattern. And yes, Videsh, I am coming to your query that for getting in sufficient marks and good marks, what are the areas where one should improve and one should take care. One very important point is, after studying, generally what is our tendency or what is our habit? We read it, right? We have read it, and after reading we have read the answer also. After reading the answer we think yes, ये तो हमको आता है. ठीक है, आपने ऐसे के नाम भी याद किए, आपने ऐसे का जब ऐसे को पढ़ा तो आपने स्पेसिफिकली देखा कि what is the scope of that essay, what is the objective of that essay, what is the name of that essay, how auditor shall deal with that situation, what is the auditor's role, what are the audit procedure auditor should proceed, and how auditor should report. For each and every standard, you should prepare your own notes covering all these things. What is the scope, what is the objective, what are the procedures, how auditor should deal, and how auditor should report. Okay, what are the powers and duties of auditor, how auditor should conclude. All this guidance is given in the engagement and quality control standards. So these standards specifically guide you. Okay, so first thing is you make your own notes. Second thing is you should practice at least 2 to 3 questions every day. After reading, when we are not having writing practice, in examination, either we miss writing some of the question. So that is very, very important and crucial part, that yes, writing practice is must. So every day, at least 2 to 3 questions you need to write. And after writing that question, ऐसा नहीं है कि notepad is closed and बस रख दिया, नहीं. You need to read it again, whether all the points which were required in that particular question are being covered in my answer, whether I'm able to write all those pointers. If anything is missed out, skipped, write again. So at least 5 to 7 days, this practice should be done by you. So this will inculcate a habit in yourself that you will review your answer, you will audit your answer, you will check with the answer which is given in the material or book, whichever you are referring, and the points which are being missed out, and you will be writing that answer again so that all the pointers are covered, right? So this practice, if you continue for 5 to 7 days, your writing practice will be there. In examination, your analytical skill will be improvised, because when you are doing this practice, you will be able to read the question more carefully. You will be able to understand the requirement of the question. And the thing which I am telling you, in the examination, some students are missing some part. That problem will also not happen, because you will be aware that what is being asked in the examination, and you will read the question carefully. And while writing, when you are writing, you will recall that this kind of mistakes I have done, and those mistakes will not happen. So one, your speed will improve. Second, your writing skill will be developed. You will be writing better answer, what is the required. You will not miss any important point, and you will be able to understand the concept in more detail, and you will be able to retain that. So these 3-4 benefits will be, you will be you will get through writing practice. So in examination, you will not feel that paper is lengthy. You will be able to complete the paper in the given time frame, and you will best utilize your 15 minutes duration also. So first thing is, you have to do at least 3 to 4 questions or 2 to 3 questions for consecutive 7 days. 7 दिन तक लगातार आपको वो क्वेश्चन, वही क्वेश्चन नहीं, different question. Like today too, you have read chapter audit documentation, so therefore that you can write 2 questions. Audit evidence 2 questions, report 2 questions. So For 7 days continuous, you have to do 2 to 3 questions, writing practice, and then checking whether all the points are being covered. Right? If it is not, then rewrite that. Okay, so one thing. Second, after completing the syllabus, practice mock test paper, sit in exam condition. If you are going to center, it's very good. If you are not able to go, take out the printout, sit in the examination condition, tell your parents that I am giving examination, I am giving mock test, and it's very important. So don't disturb. And for 3 hours, specifically, same pattern, which is for your examination, follow that pattern and write that mock test paper. Evaluate it, and somewhere you are finding difficulty, call us. Talk to us on 0120-3045-925. Either me or Tanya madam. Both, any one of us will guide you that this part is missing or this you can add. Okay, you can discuss with us. So after completion of mock test paper, you will be able to understand where you are lacking, and in main examination, this kind of problem will not happen. And one more important thing, that is when you are preparing your own notes, maybe short form you are preparing, or if you are referring any other author's book that is also given in short form, please make sure that you are checking with the bare standard or with the study material whether that point is covered in full. Okay, because that mark is particular for that one particular point. If you have segregated into 2 or 3 points, and you, for 3 marks paper, you think I have given 3 points, so I will be getting 3 marks, or for 4 marks paper. But remember, for that particular point, if 1 mark is only applicable, either you are writing in different manner with different kind of words, or you are segregating it into 3 points, you will get only 1 mark. So main reason for which students are not getting full marks, or they get 30% marks or 40% marks, because they are not attempting full paper. So remember this. Okay, I hope I have explained. Yeah.
And there is one doubt that I want to write exact answer what is asked in the question, but I always doubt that I write the exact answer is only short answer. It is not lengthy. So just to make the answer very lengthy, he writes too much in the answer sheet. Is it right?
Just
yeah. मतलब उनको लगता है कि क्वेश्चन जो है 3 मार्क्स का है, और 3 मार्क्स का जो आंसर हो रहा है इस क्वेश्चन का वो बस छोटा सा ही आंसर है, लेकिन मुझे तो बड़ा लिखना चाहिए, तो वो अननेसेसरी उसको फिल कर देते हैं.
You need not to write unnecessary details. Whatever is requirement of that particular question should be completed. In your answer, it should be covered incomplete. So whatever is being asked, if it is more than 3 points for 3 marks, then also write that. Right? Sometimes it is not necessary that for 3 points, 3 marks question, only 3 points are required. If their details which are asked in the examination are more than that, I'll tell you with one example. In this May 24 paper, there was a question based on finance lease, right? So for that finance lease, yeah. So for that last, in that question, there were 4 things were asked. One was, you need to identify. Last question. You were required to identify which kind of lease it is. Okay, so you need to identify its finance lease. Okay, then there, if I know, so in May 24 examination, can you open ICAI website here? One second. Yeah. I can tell you with the help of. So in that question, we were having 3 to 4 points being asked in that. And that question was basically, I'm having that question print out with me. Yeah. It was sixth D. JK Limited has opened a new manufacturing unit and for that they want plant and machinery since the paper होता है ना यहाँ पे? हिंदी आ जाए. JK Limited has JK Limited has opened a new manufacturing unit and for that they want plant and machinery. Since the capital outflow will be used, they are considering of taking it on lease. They have approached several parties and have shortlisted one of them, okay, who is ready to give the plant on lease for 11 years, which is approximately the estimated economic life of the asset. As per the agreement, JK Limited will bear the insurance and maintenance expenses of the asset. Now, which kind of lease agreement have JK Limited entered into and what is the ownership status, the accounting treatment and the tax benefit of the same? Now, this question is of 3 marks. So, what is your first requirement? You need to tell which kind of lease agreement JK Limited have entered into. So for this, you will write, yeah. So you will be writing that it is finance lease. Okay. Then next question is, what is the ownership status, accounting treatment and tax benefit? Now this question is of 3 marks. Okay. So first you need to tell what kind of lease agreements have JK Limited. You have told, yes, it is finance lease. Now, what kind of mistakes students have committed? Let me tell you. We have received the comments that for this question, candidates were able to correctly identify the kind of lease and its taxation benefits. However, the ownership status, that is option to buy the asset at the end of the finance lease term, was not correctly mentioned by the candidates. So in this question, you were supposed to give 4 points. One was what kind of lease agreement it is, what is the ownership status. Now you are aware that why it is finance lease. You need to tell them that in the given situation, JK Limited has opened a new manufacturing unit, which is given in the situation same as per the facts. For that, they want plant and machinery since the capital outflow will be used. So they have taken it on lease and they have approached several parties and they got it for estimated, means 11 years. That is approximately estimated economic life of the asset. So as per the agreement, JK Limited will bear the insurance maintenance expenses also. So as already told by many of you that it is finance lease. Okay. So now you need to tell that as per which accounting standard? As per AS 19, this will be considered as finance lease because it is for the major part of economic life of the asset, even if the title is not transferred. Now, after that, you need to give status of ownership. What is the ownership status? Who will be the owner? Ownership transfer option at the end of lease period is with lessee. And title may or may not be eventually transferred. So this point was very important because it carry marks, ownership status, that it is with lessee. Then what is the accounting treatment, how it will be accounted for, and what are the tax benefits. So this way you need to give 1 point, what kind of lease agreement, as per AS 19 also you need to mention. Second point is what is the ownership status, with whom the ownership status will remain. What will be the accounting treatment, because it will be treated like loan arrangement. So that part also we need to give, that asset ownership is considered of that of the lessee. Therefore, it appears on the balance sheet of the lessee. And then what is the tax benefit? So tax benefit, lessee can claim both interest and depreciation expenses because it's in his balance sheet as finance lease because it is treated like a loan. So these 4 points were required for this answer. Okay. So you need to check what is the requirement of the question. You cannot say it is only for 3 marks, so we can give only 3 points. So this way you need to check. One is if we move towards previous one, C question. Mr. D, an auditor, while auditing ACE Limited, identified certain misstatements in relation to particular class of transactions and account balances. He had communicated same to those TCWG and also taken written representation. He has communicated, okay, certain misstatements are being identified by Mr. D when he was doing audit. Second, that is particular to class of transaction account balances. He had communicated to those charged with governance, has also taken written representation. Now you need to tell the audit documentation required by the auditor regarding misstatements identified during the audit. So you need to tell audit documentation. Here what you can do, for 3 marks you can give complete 3 points.
Ma'am, if I don't write AS or SA number or name, will my marks be deducted?
If you write the source, it will always make more effective. Sometimes in particular some of the question marks are allocated to that also. So it's develop one habit. That is the reason in the beginning I was trying to make you learn SQC1's name. It was just for example because that name is larger.
Yeah.
That is the reason I take.
Ma'am,
And
there
I
is
think,
one doubt.
Savni is,
Savni?
Savni, you can unmute yourself. Unmute, ask unmute. Savni? Yeah, Savni.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I had a query that is it mandatory to write in the language that is followed in the books? Or
No.
Can we like jot down important keywords and form legible sentences on our own?
You can write in your own language, but yes, remember the technical terms or technical words like audit documentation or audit evidence or external confirmation, negative confirmation request, positive confirmation request, or name of opinion. It is modified disclaimer of opinion or anything that you need to specifically give
Yeah.
a nomenclature. But otherwise, you can write in your own words in your own language.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, like this is the question for 3 marks. So how much do we have to write? Like, if the points, like the content in the module was short, the answer is too short. So is it okay, or like we have to like elaborate it more?
If the content given in the study material is less, you need not to elaborate because it's whatever is given, we will not ask more than that. Huh? If it is application of that provision, then of course you need to elaborate because then you need to link it with the situation. And then you need to elaborate and conclude.
Okay.
Otherwise, if the question is simply asked, state the audit documentation required, then you need to just give the documentation requirement. What is like this exam? For example, I have taken this question of May 24 examination 6C, wherein simple question is being asked and whatever points are being given, you need to mention that only.
Okay, ma'am. So we do not have to like just elaborate the answer for the sake of filling the pages.
No, you need not to fill the pages because examiner is also not having so much of time. They also
Okay.
want to read the required answer only. What is the requirement of the question that should be covered in your answer?
Okay, ma'am.
It should not happen
Thank
that
you.
you're missing one important part, like I told you for finance lease wala question, which I have got on the performance of students, that they have not mentioned about ownership status. They have just given what is the kind of lease and taxation benefit, but the remaining two parts they have missed out. So of course, then for 3 marks, they might miss 1.5 mark. So their paper attended is 1.5 mark only. So they need to check what is the requirement of the question that should be covered. And for the sake of filling the paper, no need to give detailed one. What is the requirements is for a documentation, if you will read the points, it's very small points, that the amount below which misstatement would be regarded as clearly trivial. All misstatement accumulated during the audit, whether they have been corrected. So, and third one is the auditor's conclusion that whether uncorrected misstatement are material individually or in aggregate and the basis for that conclusion. These are very small points, 3 points, which are very small points. But for this question, scroll up. Yeah, for this question, only these 3 points
Excuse me, ma'am.
are, for that 3 marks are allocated. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Can it be possible that if we don't get some answer and we write it in our own language, like a layman language, and explain it in
Yeah, you can
that
write in your own language, but as I told
and
you,
not write the particular study question?
Your voice is not properly audible, but what I understood, you want to ask that you can write in your own language, your layman language. That I have already answered, that you can write in your own words or in layman language,
Yes, ma'am.
but you need to give the terms which you are going to use. Okay.
The keywords
Those
or
terms
the main
should
terms.
always be remembered, and that should be forming part of.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think we have received a query from Tanish.
Yeah.
Why does ICAI does not ask directly from module? It is easy for certain students. Not everyone does not have same skill and capacity to adapt things.
Yeah.
So I think the questions are already taken from the.
Actually, he want to say that why don't ICAI ask questions directly from module as it is. So first of all, I would like to answer this, that you are going to prepare for, you are going to be a chartered accountant. You cannot have same situation every time. So you have to deal with the situation, and that's the way you are asked questions in the exam. Questions are definitely from module, but situations can be different, so that you can tackle them.
So I hope, Danish, you understood the answer of your query. Yeah, Danish. So ICAI has always asked question from module. There is no, if the question is not from module, you will definitely be getting the marks for that, because that will be considered as out of syllabus. Okay, so the questions are from there because you need to understand the provision, and those provisions are forming part of your question. And Kushal is asking if you can guide question related.
I don't know, BTO.
BTO has two sums asked in May 24 in audit paper. BTO, if you can just give full form of BTO. One more query है from Ankita. Doubt audit एक global subject है. जब हम आंसर लिखते हैं as per AS Index, तो हमें क्या लिखना चाहिए? क्योंकि
हेलो मैम.
हाँ जी.
या मैम, सो वो टाइपिंग मिस्टेक थी. जस्ट मुझे वो पूछना था कि जो एक सम था ना, वो मुझे समझ में नहीं आया, तो आप एक बार वो समझा सकते हैं?
कौन सा क्वेश्चन?
1 सेकेंड. एक एस के रिलेटेड एक सम था.
डिस्क्लोजर वाला क्वेश्चन.
1 सेकेंड.
पार्टी एंड लोन वाला जो पार्ट था. 4C.
1 सेकेंड मैम.
Can you tell question number? And Kushal, you can also just tell us the question number. BTO has two sums asked in May 24 in audit paper.
Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is 1B.
1B.
Question number 1B.
That is inventory wala?
Yes, yes.
Okay. AS2.
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of problem you face in that? It's value of inventory. Let's read that question. ABC and company.
ABC and company are in the business of manufacturing toys. The stock taking process has been done by the company as on 31st March 2024. The company has used FIFO method for valuation of its inventories. The cost of inventory on 31st March 24 is 25,25,000, and the NRV of the inventory on the same date is 25,24,000. The cost of inventory includes the following: material purchase cost 25,05,000, allocated transport cost 18,000, abnormal wastage 2,000. The management seeks your advice in arriving at the value of inventory to be shown in the financial statements of the company. What would be the value of inventory as per AS2?
So what is the rule for AS2? When we do valuation of inventory, what is the rule? What we generally consider? As per AS2, we consider one cost and second is NRV, yani net realizable value, whichever is lower. So in this question, we are given cost of inventory. What is it? 25 lakh 25 thousand. And what is it including? And NRV is 25 lakh 24,000. Scroll down. So now in this 25, what are the elements included? That is material purchase cost, allocated transport cost, and abnormal wastage. So just remember, in AS2, whether we add abnormal wastage? No. We generally add normal wastage. Abnormal wastage is excluded from the cost of the inventory. So how much we will consider? 2505 plus 18,000. Or you can take 2525 minus 2,000. So it will be 2523,000. This is your cost. And this is your 2524 is your NRV. Whichever is less, which one will be the answer?
Cost 25,
23. Okay. So when you are writing this in your examination, you just write that inventory to be recognized at the lower of cost or net realizable value in accordance with AS2. Inventory is the name of AS2, right? And further, any cost that could not be reasonably allocated to that particular cost, to cost of production. Means example is general and administrative cost or abnormal wastage. So these will be excluded. So this way you need to mention that these will be excluded. Okay. An acceptable valuation basis is of course FIFO weighted average. So that already being taken care by the company. They have already taken FIFO method. You can see it's given that they have used FIFO method for valuation of inventory. So that part is also. So one thing you need to write AS2. What is AS2? Rule, cost or NRV, whichever is less. Second thing, what will be the what will form part of cost? What will be the exclusions? Like exclusion will be cost, which are not specifically allocated to cost of production. That is, one is general and administrative cost or abnormal weightage. Okay, so that will be excluded. And third thing, we need to ensure that it has the company has followed FIFO method or weighted average, right? So that already being complied with. Now you need to give in the given situation, whatever given in the question is fact of the case, that you need to interrelate. That in ABC company is already using FIFO method. Okay, they have provided the inventory's value on 31st March 24 as 25 lakh 25,000, which includes three elements are given: material purchase cost, allocated transport cost, and abnormal wastage. So abnormal wastage is not allocated to cost of production. That is the reason we will exclude abnormal wastage. Okay, so 25 we will exclude 2,000, it will come to 25 lakh and 23,000. As per AS2, we need to consider two elements. One is cost, second is NRV. In the given situation, NRV of the inventory, same said inventory is 2524. So considering the AS2 rule, the answer will be 2523. Got it?
हाँ मैम, थैंक यू। मैम एक क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ बोलो।
मैम तो ये जो एस है, मैंने अभी ग्रुप 2 ही लिया है, तो मैंने एस पढ़ा नहीं है ग्रुप 1 का। तो ऑडिट के रिलेटेड जो भी एस है वो मुझे पढ़ के जाना पड़ेगा?
बेसिक पढ़ना पड़ेगा, अगर नहीं है तो ऑडिट ऑफ आइटम ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में वो चीज दी हुई है।
ओके ओके ओके, 5th वाला चैप्टर करके वो इनफ है ना?
चैप्टर 5 की वेटेज ऑलरेडी तान्या मैडम ने आपको बताई है, 14 to 24 मार्क्स है और काफी क्रूशियल एंड इम्पोर्टेंट है। डोंट थिंक इट इज बल्कि, बिकॉज अगर आपको ऑडिट करना है तो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में क्या क्या चीजें होनी चाहिए और क्या क्या चीजें है और उसको कैसे आप चेक करोगे कि वो कैसे सही है या नहीं है, तो वो सारी चीज वहां पे दी हुई है। तो व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर ऑडिट यू शुड बी अवेयर।
There is one doubt. Suppose in exam a question arises of evaluation of internal control over advance. Should we write all the 12 points given in the module for 4 marks?
No. For 4 marks, you need to give 4 complete points only. Okay. For that is the reason I took 6D question as example, wherein the requirement of the question was more, okay, and it was for 3 marks only. But if the question in, and for 6D, if you correlate, requirement of the question is to provide the documentation, state the documentation, and in that you need to give only 3 points. Okay, so it depends ki what kind of simple question is being asked in the exam. You need to give the answer according to that.
Ma'am, Ritu Raj is saying, will it be okay if I leave 2-3 chapters in my
How
preparation?
you can leave, Ritu? And this kind of question I don't expect, because
Minimum
right now we
weightage
are,
is
again, it's not, we have sufficient time and we are having 11 chapters only. Understand the weightage and prepare, because each and every chapter is allocated specific marks. It's not like that ki one or two, for one or two chapter marks allocation is only 2 marks or 4 marks or 5 marks.
Every
None
chapter
of the
के
chapter
12 मार्क्स से कम का कोई चैप्टर नहीं, मतलब मिनिमम
हाँ.
मैक्सिमम 12 मार्क्स तक जा सकते
For
हैं.
section 1, of course, it is 5 to 7 marks, but again, it can go to 7 marks also. Okay, so 7 marks are also important. And first chapter is very, very basic, basically. In that chapter, it's only told that what is audit, how many standards, difference between SAE, SRE, SRS, meaning of audit, how audit is different from investigation. So these basic scope of audit. So basic elements are discussed in chapter 1. That is the reason weightage is less. However, for rest of all the chapters, weightage is not less than 9 marks or 10 marks. So it's very.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the weightage once again?
It is already there on our website.
If you visit the website now on BoS knowledge portal, the weightage is given over there. I can show you that also. One second. ICAI got to watch. सीधा जाना था, चलो कोई नहीं, ठीक है. So
this is ICAI BoS knowledge portal, and there you can get your weightage.
Paper-5. So you can see for each and every subject, weightage is given over here. So you can see 4% to 6%, that is 118 marks. So you can check the weightage according to that.
Chapter number 2, 9 to 14 marks, and then risk assessment.
So I will not advise to leave any of the chapter, because for that chapter, for which the chapter weightage is less, is very small chapter and basic chapter. So question will also be very simple.
And
so
definitely you cannot, afford to leave 2 to 3 chapters.
Nikita is asking.
There is one doubt. What to do if a question is asked for 4 marks from a topic where it has 3 points?
If there are only 3 points, then you need to give overview about, like in this paper also, we are having one question. One second. Inherent limitation. There is one question based on inherent limitation, and that was for 4 marks. But the inherent limitation given are only 3. In this question, list down the factors giving rise to inherent limitation due to which auditor cannot provide a guarantee that financial statements are free from material misstatement due to fraud or error. In this question, you need to give inherent limitation. And how many inherent limitations are there? How many inherent limitations are there for audit?
5.
Only 3? कितना inherent limitation है? 4 है, sorry. 5 है, 5 है.
But you
So,
have to write 3.
So in that way, you can write only 3 points. If it is for 4 marks, then you can give 4 points. नहीं, ये question है जिसमें ना, it was for 3 marks. Please see the question. I can tell you an example. तो आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर. अगर क्वेश्चन जो है आपका 4 मार्क्स का है लेकिन 3 पॉइंट्स है, तो उस क्वेश्चन में अगर आपको हो सकता है उस क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड कोई मीनिंग पूछा हो, तो वहां आप उसका मीनिंग बता सकते हैं और उसका मीनिंग उसको एक्सप्लेन करके देन यू कैन this is letter of specific inquiry. In that also one additional part is being asked. And one question I want to take, Tanya, that is first A.
Okay. Ankita, no, you cannot draw flowcharts in exams. These are just for your remembrance.
Because it's for your easy understanding. Right. You can, for your reference, for your revision. But in examination, it's always good to write in either bullet or para or paragraph form or bullet form. Any of the method you can use, but not flowchart. Most of the question in my language mentioning keywords, and invigilator check all answer but provide marks either 1 or 2 but not full marks. That's why I'm not on. I'm on the. I would request you to after this session you get back to me on 01203045 I would like to specifically talk to you. Okay. So I would like to understand what kind of answers you have written or how you are writing right now. As I told you that you need to have writing practice. So after writing the answer, you need to analyze if you are missing any of the point. So how much similar to paper of MTB from actual paper in level of difficulty and application question. Now this time, so I think we have prepared difficult wala question paper only for mock test also. So if you have done written practice, you will definitely be able to analyze your position. It's generally on same pattern, but if it's easy, then it's good for you, right? Like this time MCQ paper was very easy. Yeah, it's 0120304595. I can write here now. 0120304595. Okay. So this is the number on which you can call. Yeah, shall we take? Nish is asking, but if I say truly exam, I really work hard every time when I go to exam, but always get blank because certain question which I see for the first time, then the question which I know I forget 3 points in previous attempt. Before that attempt, would be my last chance and attempt. If I clear, I can study further, but the things I'm always feared in my mind, things are going like what will. So I will advise you also to call me on the number I have given 0120304595 because I need to identify what kind of exact problem you are facing. Because as I already told you, generally you get less marks when you are writing incomplete answer. Like one point you have divided into 2 or 3 points, or you are not able to understand the requirement of the question. If you are not able to understand the requirement of the question and you are writing general answer, then also your marks will be lesser. And if you are not attending the whole paper, then also your marks will be lesser. So, yeah.
Ma'am, sometimes it happens that when we study particular standards. Say, for example, I study essay 500. Then I attempt the questions of essay 500 and it becomes very easy for me to identify the standard. But in exams, when there are mixture of questions, it is very difficult for students to identify the standard. So basically, they need to practice mock test papers or revision test papers so that they can, identify the standards clearly.
Yeah, that is the reason I tell that they should do writing practice, because while doing writing practice, you will be able to identify the correct provisions, whether you have applied or not, whether you are able to identify which standard is applicable, what kind of part you need to cover in that question. And after writing that answer, please don't leave. Just evaluate, analyze what kind of mistake, allot your 5 or 10 minutes time where you can improvise. And for 7 days, I'm telling you, for 7 days, if you have done this practice in exam, you will be able to write the required answer and correct answer. Yeah. So my revision for all chapters is not yet covered. So should I attempt the upcoming mock test to complete your syllabus? Of course, you need to attend a mock test. Okay. Because revision is not completed. chapters, you have completed your syllabus once. So you can revise, na? Your next series is, I think, starting from 16th,
Saurabh, we have already answered your question that you please call on this number and then ma'am will guide you.
Yeah. Or what is the specific query?
Then that was his query, na? Yeah, that I get less marks, 70, or I can 70 marks and I got 20 marks. This was his query.
You have written in your own language and mentioned the keywords, but I need to check whether you have written the complete answer or required answer. Whether you have not missed any important points which should be written in your answer and not covered, that we need to check up actually. So if you can talk to us, we can discuss what kind of like answers you are giving. It's like if you are writing in your own language, it's not it doesn't mean that you will not get marks, because whatever is the requirement of the question, if you are writing the required answer in your own words also, then you will be getting the marks for that. So in suggested answer, any specific question, if any one of you want to discuss? Yeah, daily revision of all subject is very, very important, because I never suggest that only one full day for single subject, because otherwise you are not able to retain that. You will miss that part. Any specific question if you want to discuss, or we can take that fundamental principle question. And then we should move to MTP and integrated case scenario. That's I think, fifth question. Yeah, let's see. So now I'm going to ask you. So Tanish, I want you to contact me after the session so that I can talk to you for specific topics. So this was the question. Okay. So here you need to identify which of the fundamental principle is not followed, is violated, and how you will write that. So first is, a CA in practice accepted the appointment as an auditor of a firm in which his sister was a partner. So can any one of you write in the chat that which fundamental principle will be, which is violated? We are having total 5 fundamental principle, right? One is integrity. Second is objectivity,
confidentiality,
professional
competence, and due care,
and professional behavior. We are having 5 fundamental principles, and these are the questions where you can score most. So you should be aware of all the 5 fundamental principles, that is integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional competence and due care, and professional behavior. So in this question, Saurav, you are telling me about threats. I am not asking about threats. You need to tell me that which of the fundamental principle, as I already told that these are 5 fundamental principles, and in this situation, CA in practice accepted the appointment. Now let's talk about integrity. Yeah, you are right, Viresh, your answer is correct. So let's talk about the first principle, that is integrity. So how you will ensure whether integrity is compromised or integrity is violated? Can any one of you tell? What is the requirement of integrity fundamental principle? That the chartered accountant should be honest and straightforward. Right? Chartered accountant should be honest. If he is not honest, or if he is misrepresenting, it means which of the fundamental principle will be compromised, which of the fundamental principle will be violated?
integrity.
And when the chartered accountant in practice accepted the appointment as an auditor of a firm in which his sister was a partner, which fundamental principle will be compromised? Yes, fair dealing and truthfulness is right. So in this situation, objectivity fundamental principle will be violated, because objectivity requires that a professional accountant shall not undertake any professional activity if the circumstances or relationship are unduly influenced. So when your sister is partner, definitely your professional judgment will be influenced. So here objectivity principle will be compromised or violated if the CA in practice accept the appointments as an auditor of a firm where his sister was a partner, because sister is a close relationship and it can unduly influence your decisions, professional judgments. Now next one is
a chartered accountant in practice was approached by his friend to seek some insider information about a company, which was the client of the chartered accountant. He could not refuse his friend's
तो
request.
इसमें क्या गलत है यार, दोस्ती तो निभानी ही चाहिए, है ना, फ्रेंडशिप निभानी चाहिए ना, अगर पूछ लिया तो बता देना.
He is violating confidentiality.
Right. So it's confidentiality fundamental principle is violated if you share the confidential information, because it's fundamental principle that for the client you should not disclose the information until and unless it is required by any law. So your confidentiality principle will be violated. And next one is
a chartered accountant in practice failed to inform his client about the change in laws applicable to his client.
Professional competence and due
Ma'am, professional competence and duty.
Write in the chat, otherwise everyone will know the answer, and I want you all to participate. So here professional competence and due care fundamental principle will be violated. Now assume one situation where I am a CA, I got one audit, I have not communicated with previous auditor and I have accepted and I have proceeded also. Which fundamental principle will be compromised?
professional behavior.
behavior, ma'am.
नहीं, हाँ, और अगर मैं प्रीवियस ऑडिटर हूं और मुझे कम्युनिकेशन आता है, आई डोंट रिस्पॉन्ड, if I don't respond.
Professional competence and due care.
No. If Tanya is going to audit, okay, and I was previous auditor, पहले मैंने किया था, now Tanya will be doing the audit, and she sent me letter for this in compliance with Companies Act, and I don't respond.
Ethical.
है ना, प्रोफेशनल बिहेवियर वाला, professional behavior fundamental principle will be violated. So these are 5 fundamental principles, and nowadays the question is being asked from this part also, and that is very scoring. So you should be aware of these 5 fundamental principles. Not only principles, you should be aware of threats also. Self-review threat, self-interest threat, self-review threat, then your advocacy threat, intimidation threat, means you should be aware of the concept. And when you are writing the answer, in this question, you cannot write simply only objectivity. In first situation, you cannot write only objectivity. You need to tell that in what is the objectivity fundamental principle in one line, and thereafter you need to write that yes, in this given situation, since the sister was partner of the firm, so if the auditor accept the appointment, objectivity fundamental principle will be violated. So this will be your complete answer. So first you need to tell what is objectivity fundamental principle in 1 or 2 lines, and then relate it to the situation and write the answer that in the given situation objectivity principle is violated. Same way in the second also, you need to give the brief about the fundamental principle in 1 or 2 lines. So this way you need to give the answer. So I hope now you are able to understand the situation based question are there, how you should answer those questions. And if you are having straightforward question, then how many points you should give. And if the question is for 3 marks and the points are asked, question is 3 marks, but the points asked are 4, then you need to give all the 4 points, right? So I hope it's clear to all. So if you have any specific query, you can tell. Otherwise, we can move to integrated case scenario also, that in examination, how to answer MCQ or integrated case scenario. So for this particular question, we got observation from the examiner that candidates were able to identify and explain 2 out of 3 of the fundamental principle of professional ethics. However, the explanation of the principle given by the candidate was not up to the mark. So you need to understand what is the fundamental principle, then only you will be able to write in 1 or 2 lines, and then you can conclude it with the fact of the situation. Okay, one more important observation on question number 1A. You'll think we are scrolling here and there, right? So for question number 1A, the question was, given the situation was given where chartered accountant was appointed as auditor, right? Times Limited and Bakes Limited, 2 organizations' name are given. Volume and nature of both the company are entirely different. Okay, so volume is also different, nature is also different, and the chartered accountant is appointed for both the company. R is engagement partner for Bakes Limited, P is the engagement partner for Time Limited. Because in APR they are partners, so P is preparing for one and R is preparing for one. So CAR formulated an audit program for Bakes Limited because he is engagement partner for Bakes Limited. He suggested CAP कि भैया जो audit program which I have prepared, you use that. But CAP is of the opinion that this audit program will not be useful for audit of Time Limited. So here you all have given the required answer, that is yes, they cannot use the same audit program. But what was the requirement of the question? Just read. In light of the above, mention the matters that should generally be considered. So this part was missed by the students because you were required to provide the matters also. When you are preparing an audit program, what kind of points you need to take care, those points you were supposed to give, and that part was students you have missed out. So in that answer you have just given that CAP is correct in emphasizing for different audit program because Time Limited and Bakes Limited both are different entity, they're working and everything is different. So you have given all those points, but the matters which should generally be considered, general matters that were asked in the question, you were supposed to write those matters also. And this question carries 4 marks. This question was for 4 marks. So maybe 1 or 2 marks is for conclusion. So for getting good marks, it's always good that for 3 marks, at least 3 points you should give, that yes, within the scope and limit, means general matters you need to give 3 pointers and then interrelate with the situation and give the conclusion. So for 4 marks, for being safer side, it's always good to read the question carefully, understand the requirement of the question and provide the complete answer. So candidates have written the conclusion of the answer correctly, but they have not written about or explained the matter which are generally considered while preparing the audit program. Okay.
मैम
Yeah, Himani.
मैम मैं ये पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि ये जो क्वेश्चन में उन्होंने पूछा मेंशन द मैटर दैट शुड जनरली बी कंसीडर्ड व्हाइल प्रिपेयरिंग एन ऑडिट प्रोग्राम, सो इट मींस कि हमको ये लिखना है फैक्टर्स टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड व्हाइल प्रिपेयरिंग ऑडिट.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
General matters, general factors you need to give, like you need to stay within the scope and limitation of the assignment, prepare a written audit program, determine the evidence reasonably, and all those, consider all possibility of error. So all those general points you need to. So 2 to 3 general points. It's for safer side, it's always good we give 3 general points and then we conclude it that one audit program is not practicable for all business. So since both are different entity, entirely different activity, volume and nature of business of both the companies are entirely different. So this line you need to relate it and then you can conclude that it's P is correct. Conclusion is very, very important. So you need to give conclusion also that yes, CAP is correct in emphasizing for a different audit program.
Thank you.
I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's take one case scenario. Shall we move to integrated case scenario? Yeah, it's MTP1's first case scenario. You all have solved it or not gone through yet? So are you able to solve?
Ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So it's easy. You were able to solve it.
थोड़ा tricky था, but ma'am कर लिया.
So shall we take it up?
Yes, ma'am.
So Messrs. Visvacharya and Associate, a CA firm based in Orissa is appointed as an auditor of CBF Bank. अब यहाँ आपको समझ आ गया कि it's for bank actually. CBF Bank for the financial year 23-24. And during the course of audit, it came to notice that CBF Bank has sanctioned an overdraft facility. Overdraft facility of 75 lakh to times limited. As per stock statement furnished for the last quarter, DP in drawing power, it's 50 lakh. When your DP is 50 lakh, how much you can? It was observed that few advances were given guaranteed by the central government and state government. So if the advance is guaranteed by central government, for NPA, rules will be different. This question was also asked in the examination this time, and for that also we got this comment that students were not aware that what is the difference if the advances are guaranteed by central government and if the advances are guaranteed by state government. So for central government, it will not be considered as NPA, and for state government, it will be regarded as NPA, right? So in this question, central government is part of Make in India initiative. However, the guarantee was not invoked and the advances were overdue by 75 days. And these advances were classified as standard assets and were regarded as NPA for income recognition purpose. State government is part of power generation initiative. However, these guarantee was not invoked and the advances were overdue by 80 days. Now, what is given here? 75 days and 80 days. So, these advances were also classified as standard assets and were regarded as NPA for income recognition purpose. I think there is one MCQ on this. Right. So, let's move directly to that. Yeah. Will you explain that? First MCQ? Read it. Huh?
With respect to the overdraft facility sanctioned to times limited, the account would be termed as out of order if the outstanding balance remains continuously in excess of 75 lakh, the outstanding balance remains continuously in excess of 50 lakhs, the outstanding balance in account is less than 75 lakh, but there are no credits or payments deposited into account continuously for 90 days as on the balance sheet date. The outstanding balance is less than 50 lakh. Can anyone, answer the same and giving the reason for the same? Those who have solved the MTP.
So what is basically out of order? First, you need to understand this term. When the account should be treated as out of order. So for that, you need to understand the requirements which are given as one is the outstanding balance, because with the help of this example, you will be able to retain. Right. That is the reason we discussed and we put this question in MCQ, right? So outstanding balance remains continuously in the excess of sanction loan or drawing power. Now, what was the drawing limit. Power or sanction limit?
Sanction limit was
75 lakh
and drawing power was 50 lakh.
50 lakh. So in this question,
so if outstanding balance remains more than either 75 lakh or 50 lakh,
it will be out of order. So 1 and 2 will be out of order.
Right.
Right. In case where the outstanding balance in the principal operating account is less than. So here it is less than 75 lakh. But there are no credits or payments for continuously 90 days as on the date of balance sheet. Then also it will be considered as out of order. It means आपका जो outstanding balance है वो 75 means आपकी sanction limit या DP से lesser है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद अगर 90 days तक उसमें कोई credit नहीं होता या कोई credit entry नहीं होगी, तो उस केस में भी that will be considered as out of order. So all three conditions are okay and outstanding balance is less than 50 lakhs, so there is no other additional thing is given. So that is the reason fourth one will not be out of order. But apart from this situation, one more situation will be considered, right? For asset to be considered as out of order, that is credits are there
But
In
not
this
current.
third situation, no credit was there. But if the credit is there, but are not enough to cover the interest debited during the same period, so then also these accounts should be considered as out of order, right? So in this question, answer will be 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So what if in this situation, or in this first one, if we add one situation, dear students, that credit or payment deposited into account was 5 lakh and interest debited during the same period is 7.5 lakh. Will it be considered out of order? I am repeating, credit or payment deposited is 5 lakh, but interest debited is 7.5 lakh. Then also it will be considered as
Out of order.
one has answered. Yes,
Yes,
it will be. Yes,
out
you're
of
right.
order.
It will be out of order because the interest amount is 7.5, whereas the credit or payment is less than that. So that is also one important condition. So all these three conditions, it can form part of a question in descriptive part also. So you should be aware, right? In second one, as I have already told you that for state government and central government, one rule is there that for central government guaranteed advance, where the guarantee is not invoked, would be classified as standard asset, but regarded as NPA for income recognition purpose. We will consider it, we'll take it for income recognition purpose, but that guarantee will not be, it will be classified as standard asset only. But when we consider it from the state government point of view, it will be considered as NPA if it remains overdue for more than 90 days. So we need to remember that 90 days are very important criteria. Secondly, for central government, it's not considered as NPA, it will be considered as standard asset only. Okay. So here in the given situation, it was overdue by
80 days for central government, so it will not be considered as NPA.
Yeah, 75, and for central government, so it will always be standard asset only. But for income recognition point of view, so one was the treatment which was correct, and second one was wrong.
So option will be C.
Yeah, and third one, I think it requires calculation. Okay, so we need to go back to the question. That in the question, what is given, you read the question carefully. You need to give the you need to do calculation also. That for availing cash credit facility, we are having 110 lakh against security of paid stock and debtors for 90 days. Margin was 25% for stock and 40% for debtor. Okay. And the calculation which are given is valuation of stock is 130 lakh. Debtor, it is 75 lakh. Value of stock is, which is fully damaged, is 7 lakh. So that 7 lakh will be
Excluded.
Okay. So it will be 123. And then value of debtor is exceeding 90 days is 10 lakh. So we are having debtors 75 and 10 is
Exceeding 10 lakhs.
So it is 65. And value for creditor for goods. And that creditor's value is also excluded. So we are having this 73. Okay. And it is 75 for debtors. Now we have given where margin stipulated was 25% for stock and 40% for debtor. Now you all calculate how much is 25% of stock, that is 73 ka 25%, and for 65 40% we need to reduce. So how much will amount?
It will be 63.
Yeah, 63, sorry. 63, and for 63 ka 25%, right, Viresh? Thank you.
It will be 15.75.
Yeah, students, if you are writing, then it will be good. And chat also, yeah, 15.75. So we'll reduce 63 minus 15.75. It means it is
47.25.
Yeah. And 65 ka 40%?
26.
So if we deduct 26, it will be 39. So we need to add 39 for debtors and 47.25 for stock. So its total is
86.25.
86.25. So now we should move to MCQ. Yeah. So in the given case, drawing power of the borrower XYZ Limited should be 86.25 lakhs. So the bank has identified the erosion in the value of security. I think it's up in the. Would you like to take this?
Bank identified the same as erosion in the value of security. It was classified as doubtful category and provision was made for doubtful asset. A discussion took place among the team members regarding issuance of the audit reports after completion of the bank audit. So, erosion. The bank has identified an erosion in the value of security and made provision for doubtful debts. Whether the treatment by the bank for doubtful debt asset is correct? Answer. Students.
So you will answer, na? Huh? Students, you should answer. Will require your answer. The question is outstanding balance is
25 lakh.
25 lakh in loan account.
And realizable value of the security as assets by bank or approved valuer was rupees 2.25 lakh. And bank identified the same as erosion in the value of security. Was it the erosion in value of the security?
So I'm waiting for your answer. Can any one of you tell that?
No, Sai, it would not be an erosion in the value of the security actually, because erosion in the value of the security can be recognized when realizable value of security is less than the 50% of the value assessed by the bank or accepted by RBI. Then such NP may be straight away classified as a doubtful category. So here value of security was not 50%, that is erosion.
So it will be?
It will not be, it should not be classified as a doubtful category.
So because the existence of such security should be ignored and the asset should straight away be classified as loss asset. It may be either written off or fully provided by the bank. Now you will ask, what is the difference in this and this? In B, we are writing same answer is there. No existence of security should be ignored and the asset should straight away be classified as loss asset. So this part is same in the B and D. But the only thing is it may be either written off or fully provided by bank. And in this, what is given, provisioning should be made for doubtful asset. First of all, you need to check whether it is loss asset or it is doubtful asset, right? And if it is loss asset, then it will be either written off or fully provided. Means loss asset means 100%. But provision should be made for doubtful asset. But in the given situation, it is classified as loss asset. So we need not to do provisioning for doubtful asset. That is the reason the answer will be B. Clear? Clear? And last one is very obvious. So I think before concluding, we should provide some general tips also. If students, you have any specific doubt, you can also tell us. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
Like in paper 4 webinar, sir told he will conduct another webinar for doing important points to remember for exam. So will there be another webinar for auditing subject as well regarding the important points to remember for exam?
Yeah. So you want us to tell you about important points for remembering in exam, right?
Chapter wise.
Yes, there are webinars.
For that is the reason we have holded webinar covering like if you see, we have covered audit of item of financial statement. Then we are having audit report, that is second chapter. Audit documentation, that is a separate, and audit evidence. Then again in next we are having 3 chapters, audit of bank, different type of entities and all. So for auditing subjects specifically, we are covering almost 7 chapters. And 6 to 7 chapters, all key points are being discussed in that webinar. So though that is the reason I told you we are holding series of webinar, and one is being done on 7th August and next one is on 12th August 11:30. Okay, and after that we are having on 21st August and then on 28th of August. Flyer is already on BoS like knowledge mobile app, so you can on that scanner is given where you can just scan it and you will be in the webinar, and it will not be there on the YouTube. It's specifically in interactive mode only. Okay, yeah. So some important tips. I think with the help of case scenario, we have told you that how to answer the MCQs. First thing, you should know what are the resources available to you. Okay. So what are the resources available to you? First, you are having your mobile app and BOS knowledge portal where you are having your study material, revisionary test paper, mock test paper, previous examination question paper or suggested answers. Then you are having on your mobile app, you are having your mobile app, which you can download even with the help of mobile, this Google Store. If you are having Android phone, or you can also download it through Apple Play Store. And on that mobile app or on the BOS knowledge portal, you will get recorded live learning classes. If in any of the topic you find any difficulty, you can go to the live learning classes. For MTP, again, we are having 2 series, but you can practice that and you can contact us. And we are having 2 series of webinar for success at CA examination. Okay. And then for language, we have already told you that generic answer should not be given. Answer should be properly framed. We don't want you to write the bookish language. You do mugging and you get confused in writing when you are appearing in the examination. Don't get panic. Please be motivated. In the paper also, it's mixture of the question. So one of the student was asking if there is some difficult question, I lose my confidence and I skip those due to that difficult question, my whole paper is impacted. So here you need to be motivated and balance yourself, because it's very important. If your mind if you lose your mental balance, and you will not be able to focus on the part which you know very well, because it's 118 marks paper. 30 marks is for MCQ, but for 88 marks, definitely one or two question may be very difficult, but definitely out of 88 you must be knowing 30 or 40 marks paper. Okay, so be focused on that. The question where you are having more confidence, which you know best, you should write that. And if you are applying my advice to write 2 to 3 questions daily for 7 days and analyzing that, and after rewriting, maybe it will take you 1 hour. But after that, you will feel more confident, and the silly mistakes which we are generally doing in the examination will not be repeated. Okay, do some, if you are a player, devote some time for your physical activity, for games, or for some meditation, some sort of positivity. But don't spend your time in watching this Instagram reels or this what I can say. You can make best use of that WhatsApp group also. You can do technical discussion in that group rather than scrolling and watching videos and YouTube videos, and it will like it may, due to that you may waste your time. And your brain, which is very like your brain, which is when you're studying, the part of brain which is devoted in the studying will be devoted in that YouTube also, because same part will be. And when you are doing some physical activity, that part will be relaxed. So when you will be studying again, your brain will be relaxed and you will be having more energy and you will be able to study more. Your brain will not be feeling tired. So remember this thing. MCQs questions will be compulsory, no external or internal choice, all carry 2 marks. The situations which are given in the MCQ in the form of case scenario or independent MCQ, read the situation carefully, interlink it with provision, and thereafter conclude in the MCQ. For descriptive case scenario based question,
for descriptive case scenario based question, correlate the same with the situation, write the provision, then give the facts of the question, and then give the conclusion by correlating the same with the facts of the provision of the questions. Then answer should be properly framed. There should not be a journal language. Use of keywords is very necessary. Write standard name, standard number wherever you can. Right. Also provide in case of direct theoretical question, there should be, as ma'am already told, that for 4 marks you should write at least 4 points, 4 full points of study material, and example may be given wherever required. Right to give answer in brief points or paragraphs. There should not be presentation in any form, in any manner.
This was the
in
question of
flowchart.
one of the student now.
Right.
So no diagrammatic representation or no flowcharts.
Yeah.
You need to write either bullet form or para form and complete point. Remember complete point, because out of 3, if you are writing only 1 point in 3 pointers, you are attempting only 33% paper.
Make
Make
proper
sure,
use
yeah.
of 15 minutes. Optimum use of 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, give a glance to your questions and then decide which question you are going to attempt first, with which question, whatever question you know the best, attempt that question first, and then which question you are going to left, what are your choices, make that in 15 minutes.
And
then
specifically time allocation for that particular question also you should decide. You are
sequence of
reading the you are using the reading time. Okay, so which sequence you will be, and it should not happen that for first question you have devoted whole 1 hour. So time management is very, very crucial and important. So then once you have done written practice and your time management, and after checking it with the help of mock test paper in main examination, you will be able to write the required and complete answer. Right? So with this, I think we have tried to cover almost all, and the important points which that student was asking, what kind of important points are, like if you study the syllabus carefully, you will find that we are having 11 chapters, right? And all the chapters are related to, except for audit of bank and audit of different type of entities, almost all the chapters are related to either standards on auditing or ethics part. So that is the reason we explain that how to remember the standards name. You should practice when you are aware of the meaning of the standard, the scope of the standard, then you will be able to identify which standard will be applicable in that particular question. Then if you have prepared your own notes, or if you have highlighted in the study material also important pointers, in the examination you will be able to write the required part, because you will be able to recall. If you have done some written practice, it will definitely 100% add on. So do this writing practice. In case if you find any difficulty, you can get back to us on 0120-3045-925. We have repeated so many times. We are here to help you and would request you to join the webinar, because in those webinar we are covering all the important concepts pertaining to those particular chapters, right? And if you find any difficulty in the writing manner, that also we can help you out. You can contact us. We'll definitely guide you where you are lacking and what kind of improvements you need to make. Okay. And for examination also, just now you should also prepare the strategy, that which for revision time, what kind of topics you will be covering, from where you will be reading, which of the questions you will be revising, because it's not possible in 2 days duration of time everything is revised. So your whole working should be done now. In the next session, we'll come out with some more tips and tricks. Be cool, have balanced diet, relax yourself, don't get panic. Don't get panic, because if you're having writing practice, you'll be able to write the required thing and you will get the good marks. If you are giving the required thing, you will definitely get the good marks. So with this, wishing you all the very best and do your own good preparation, right? And in case if you find any difficulty, you can, the feedback also is very, very important. So please provide your feedback so that we can implement it in next session. If you have any like a doubt which you feel we should take, or if you have any suggestion that in next Success at CA examination series, which is going to commence in the end of August, after series 2, we'll definitely take it up. And with that, wishing you all the very best for your preparation. And today's mentor, I'm CA Karuna Bhansali.
I am CA Tanya Gupta.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Thank you for being with us
Thank
and
you,
for your
ma'am.
patience, like listening. If you have any doubt,
Thank you, ma'am.
raise your hand or you can unmute. And though I have tried to cover all the queries which you have raised, if you have any specific query.
Ma'am, webinars are available in recording.
No, webinars are not available in recording form. Webinars are live only and in Zoom interaction only. So where you can interact, we will also be there, and outside expert are also there. So they will also be taking, and we will also be there to support if in case any required. So in that, we are just trying to cover all the summaries and some questions of particular topic. And this is specifically designed so that some of the students find difficulty in getting marks, na? So for that reason, particularly, it is being designed. Any query if you feel you want to ask?
Ma'am, thank you.
And whatever is your feedback, please provide so that we can improvise. You can use Ask Your Query feature also through mobile app. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.